live stream.
There it is. Hello, everyone. Hi, Ian.
Hey,
Oh, and it feels like we're back, only
are
because
we?
you've been away for a little bit.
I don't feel like I've been gone. I was crazy busy, and then I was away for almost 2 weeks, and I felt like I did nothing. And then it's like I stepped back in exactly where I left off, and things are go, 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 go. I feel less stressed
Okay.
about the go, go, but it's going.
And I think for me, February, like January and February almost feel like an extension of Christmas, not break, but Christmas period.
Sure.
And I think it's partly the energy in Australia where all the kids have now finally gone back to school. So now you've kind of a few weeks in and it feels like, okay, now we've got our rhythm for the year.
So your whatever this is now, February is kind of like my October after school
Yes.
started in September for our kids and stuff. Like it's like, okay, they're set. Now I can do me or whatever. Okay. All right. Cool. Has
So,
nothing to do with
all the
today's topic.
rhythms, the rhythms on the road are all then different because there's school, all of
Yeah.
that. So yes.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So it's our worlds are upside down for lots of different reasons. All right. Good. Today's topic,
Let's get onto that.
FOMO. It took me a while to understand what that was. It wasn't until a couple of years ago that I actually like I had to say, okay, I don't know what that is. What is FOMO? What is this thing you talk about? And I think I might be dealing with a little bit of fear of missing out at the moment. And it's a revolves around a decision that I need to make, and I need to make really quick or really soon, actually. And I'm kind of wondering if FOMO is kind of running the show with regard to
Mhm.
this, you know, kind of that whole lack mentality. Part of my mind went to like watching people at Black Friday, like everyone's got to buy the last TV and stuff like that. Like, do you really need that bad to, I don't know, jump in front of line and throw people out of the way? And anyways, not to that extreme, but I feel like FOMO might be running this. So, um, my decision is do I or don't I go to the CrossFit Games
Ah, yes,
as a
yes.
as a spectator? Um, I've never been. Um, they're going to be running the event about, I think it's 5 or 6 hours away from here. So it's never been closer. It's always been in like California or Texas or I don't know what I don't know if you how much you know about the States, but far away from me. Um, and I've been passionate about this sport. It's my sport now. I've been doing it for 12, 13, 14 years or something like that, but being paying really close attention to this. I like almost all of my social media, like YouTube algorithm is like CrossFit podcasts and who's going to win and all this stuff. So I've dedicated a lot of time in this space. So as soon as I heard that it was going to be in New York, I'm like, "Oh, okay, so better go get my apartment or whatever, rent a room." So I went and I booked a room, and then I booked another room because this is a better room than that room. Anyways, closer to the venue, stuff like that. But I was like, oh, I'm already feeling like I have to like, I better do this or I'm gonna miss out. Like if I don't book now, I'm gonna
Oh, if
I'm
you
gonna
don't
lose a
book that
room.
room now, then so you took the first room because you might miss out on that
I
one,
needed
but now you've got
something. I
an.
needed something in the books, and then I'm like, oh, I could. That doesn't seem like a very good deal. Now do the conversion from American to Canadian. I'm like, that's a lot of money. Anyway, so then I go and I do another room. So I have two bookings. Anyways, doesn't matter. Um, but the thing is, I'm not as excited about going as I think I should be, which is weird. Like for something that has been such a like a
Feature?
joy around myself. I'm not as excited about going as I think I should be if it's here, it's close. I can get there, I can see all these cool athletes, whatever. So I'm going to give you a little bit more context around why I think this is hard and likely why I don't feel like I should go. Because everything is lining up at the moment that it's a no-brainer. You go.
Okay, so timing, that sort of stuff is all just lining up. You can.
Yeah, it's all
You,
there. It feels like I should go based on logistics. It just makes logical sense that I go at this time because of where it's at and all this stuff. But last year, I think we I know we talked about it a little bit. There was a death in the first event of the CrossFit Games itself. I'm actually representing it today.
and that had a significant impact for
It did.
you.
It had a big impact on me. It had a big impact on the community. It's kind of made things very divisive on which side of the fence you fall on as to what you think how things went and how things were handled. And I'm not necessarily sure that um, I aligned with how they decided to go about things. Um, but and I don't even know if there was a right way to handle that, to be honest. I just didn't feel quite right. And it's left kind of a bitter taste in my mouth. Um, and it's weird. My life is all has been surrounding these events for the last 10 years. So the way the season starts, there's the Open. It starts in February. It starts tomorrow, actually. You compete, and everybody in the world who's in CrossFit does the same workout, and then they whittle it down to the people who go to the games. So tomorrow, everybody in the world is going to do it, and we're going to gradually knock off everybody until they get to the top 20, 30, whatever. So part of my problem or decision making is around, do I support this if I don't necessarily support the company? Like there's like a lot of like internal struggle with it. So I've made my decision that way. I've put my money in the pot. I'm paying, and in my mind, I'm supporting the athletes who have decided to do it. It's not their fault. They didn't do anything wrong. Like they're whatever. They're living their life. They're doing what they want to do. Cool. So I've made peace with that part of it, but I'm still not at peace with going to the event. Do I want to do that? So even though part of me is already saying, if you're already asking that question, you don't want to go, right?
We've had that
But
discussion before, yes.
but what am I going to miss out on? Right? So now it's like it's pulling me back because it's logical, it's there, it's attainable, it's not a ton, like you don't have to buy plane tickets. I can drive there. Like that stuff is the logical, of course you should go. But then there's the feeling part of me, which is a big part of what I teach other people is to follow your gut and follow like what feels best to you and that kind of thing. So that's like my trajectory versus, the brain. This is what we do.
And are you following gut or fear or preventing fear? Yeah, there's like, how do you distinguish what you're actually following?
Yeah. So I don't have an answer to where I'm at yet, but that's where I thought I would bring this because, besides the fact that it's pressing for me because they're going to come out with the tickets are on sale, I would imagine any day, and I'm going to have to be on the train or not.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's a really good representation of what we create. So many things. I love this.
There's a
There is
lot going on.
so much, so much. So one of the pieces that I wanted to that my brain went to immediately was, isn't it really interesting when we can't quite distinguish the emotion that we are attaching to this thing? So if you were really clear with the emotion of excitement, you wouldn't even be this would not even be a question.
I would say if last year didn't happen, I would be clamoring over myself to go.
And this is where it gets really interesting because now there's a bit of a gray area with the emotion that's attached
Mhm.
to it, and so that then impacts the clarity of the decision. So
Right.
and interesting that you can be aware of that gray area of emotion. Yet it's still difficult to navigate through it because if you don't feel it, you're not sure if it's the right thing. Interesting, isn't it? When we really want to feel things before we know it's right. So
For,
that I
for
thought
me,
was
that
really
for me,
interesting.
that's my decision making North Stars. Does it feel good to do? And I remember actually, if I go back to um, the the conference that we met at,
back in 2020.
when it is it? Well, anyways, so going back to that time, I remember sitting in on a public speakers workshop. I sat in on yours, but that particular guy, there was all kinds of, I had no logical reason to take his course, but it felt like the right thing to do. I followed that course, and then that, yeah, and then that led me to, getting another client and stuff like that. Or, oh, maybe that's what it was. I followed his, and then that brought me to you in the following year or something like that. So, I mean, I can't, so many good things came from a not logical decision, but one that felt like it was something that I know I needed it for me. So it was confirmation to me that following the way that I feel about something is how I need to make decisions, especially ones that are important to me. Um,
And
and
then we have this element of the FOMO kick in, right? Because if this, so when is the actual event? What month of the year?
August.
Okay. So isn't it interesting we get caught in it's now February. Well, beginning of March nearly. But it's like 5 months away and we feel like we have to make all these decisions right now. And yet maybe it's just about a timing of when the decision can be made. And then maybe it'll feel just right. I wanted to share a bit of a story about my FOMO.
Go
A
ahead.
lot less, well, there's some significance to it, but it's not really. It's not a ending my life FOMO type
Neither is
experience.
mine. This is supposed to be joyous, right?
And so I can hear, as you were telling us, like, oh wow, I can hear the elements in my story as well. So last weekend I got the privilege of going with my daughter for her to help me choose what my dress will be for her wedding.
Mm. Sorry,
And
she's selecting your dress?
she's assisting me. Yes. Is she selecting it? No.
Okay.
But she and I shop really well together. We just have I don't know, we've just done that over the years. We're really good at it. So I went into one of my favorite retailers and had the whole, oh, let's try on every dress. Not quite
Mm,
every dress, but that whole process. And I'd come out and I was like, oh, yeah, that's great. Oh, this, that. And we narrowed it down to one dress. And I was looking for that feel.
mm,
I ended up walking out of that store without buying that dress. And there was all these great elements about it. It's a familiar designer for me. It is a designer, so it does cost a little bit more. The advantage for me is that this designer fits my body shape, so it's a win because every time I put any of her dresses on, it just works. So that's a win. Um, Angel loves the coloring on me, and often when I'm looking at a dress on from my own eyes perspective, it doesn't I see different things to what
mhm.
my daughter sees, and this is for her wedding. So, how I see me in it is secondary
Sure.
for this event.
Yeah.
Uh, but we walked out of that store, and I said to her, I'm 98% there, but I don't know. I'm not quite feeling it.
Mhm.
And she said, "Oh, that's really interesting, Mum, because whenever like if you felt it, you'd be like, I'm just buying it now.
For sure.
It's not, it wasn't about the dollars. It wasn't
No
about
hesitation.
no hesitation, just go for it." She said, "Oh, so that's interesting. I wonder if there's another dress that's going to appear or now, interesting, even your time frame. This is literally now, and her wedding is in August. So we have 5 months.
Mhm.
Really, I've got 5 months before I need to buy the dress. Well, I went and had another look a couple of days ago on the website to just see if they had some extra sales or I don't know, something. Just having another look at that same dress, making sure they had the size, all of that, even though I could walk back into the retail store just sometimes easier to look online. I know what size I need, all the rest of it. Well, I put it in the cart and then I left it. And then I start getting the emails. You've left something in your cart.
Yeah.
We may be out of stock if you don't buy it now.
Oh, yeah, they're so good at that, whatever that is, system that picks that stuff up. Yep, yep.
24 hours later. Oh, that's now been removed from your cart. We may not have any stock left.
They're playing on the FOMO. Yep, for sure.
Absolutely. And interestingly, I've done a little bit more research on somewhere else that I like to purchase my dresses from as well, and they just don't have anything available. But the FOMO absolutely kicked in for me, and I went, I don't want to miss out on this dress. Now, I've now purchased the dress. I'm actually still not convinced that that's the dress I'm going to wear to her wedding, but FOMO made me do it.
Well, I understand made you a little strong, but I understand what you're saying. That whole you think that if I don't, I'm going to be stuck, or I'm not going to get the deal that I want. If now is the time.
And Angel loved the dress on me, and it has this particular pattern on it that when you take a photo, it pops different colors on it. It's just lovely. Uh, and so yeah, I'm going to say FOMO made me do it. I know that's a bit ridiculous, but it encouraged me towards, well, if I don't do this now, I may miss out and I won't get that dress. And yet, I've now got another 4 months because I probably wouldn't do it right up to August. I'd probably want to make sure I have made my final decision by July. Because I have to, yeah, I wouldn't leave it to that last minute. But I may yet, I'm allowing myself to look for other dresses if maybe that comes to fruition.
Mhm.
And I may even leave the tags on this dress that arrives for the purpose of being able to return it if necessary.
Yeah.
But I did not want to miss out. So I purchased the dress. And I was like, wow, this FOMO sneaks in little, so like sideways. It just kind of came in and went, oh, no, you really have to. And it really influenced my decision. Like I said, not earth-shattering, can always return it if I want to. Um, but I think this impacts our decisions a lot of the time, and we're not even aware how much it's playing into our
No,
decisions.
but and I think retailers play on that fear a lot, and I think they've learned that it works, right? That whole reminder of the things in the cart. I've had that come up recently on a few different websites where I just wanted to see what is the shipping cost going to look like or whatever if I got this because it's coming from Australia, which is a ridiculous shipping amount. It's like twice as much as anyways, whatever. So
You
uh,
should ask someone in Australia that you know if they can get it for you. But hey,
hey,
sure.
one FOMO problem at a time. But you're right. They play on it because it works. That's why all of these marketing strategies are in the queue anyways, is because people are afraid that they're going to miss a deal. And where did I notice this? Was it on, I think it was on Wayfair sites. So on Wayfair sites, sorry, Wayfair, it's like furniture and maybe it's just a United States thing or Canada, United States. Anyway, so like it's furniture, but it's furniture that is lower class, sort of. Anyways, like I think they bring it in from like
Is
China,
it above
moving
or
from there.
below IKEA furniture?
I would
Just to
say
give a
below. I would
perspective.
say
Oh,
below, but
okay.
similar build, but that kind of thing. So if you go on the site and you search it, it'll be X% off today, and then the next day it's a different percentage off. And then there's like 10 or 20 models that are so similar. If you're not looking at the finest details, they look the same. So, but they will send you updates on the pricing and how it's going up tomorrow, or it's this deal won't last long, and it's still in your cart. Like that stuff, it's repetitive, and they're trying to leverage your own fears to service them.
And and it's and I think I mean it's built into marketing. I see it in marketing everywhere. It's the scarcity. Oh
Mhm.
well, if you don't get it, you'll miss out. That's essentially it. And it's in every marketing.
It's funny you say it's in every marketing. It is. It's something that I've removed from mine. So I don't. I tell everybody. I said they'd come in. We'll have a free conversation, and if you're interested, you can come back and ask me. For it, whatever it is. Um,
And as you know, I do something very, very similar, and I don't have a start time for a program. Like I don't go, oh, every program has to start on January 1st. No, it's whenever the person's ready. And I'll just, adjust whatever I need to adjust to work with them. That's yes. So yes, you and I are on point with that.
well,
But
that
most
that whole
marketing,
that whole scarcity mindset thing has got me to purchase other things in the past, and I don't know if I necessarily like the way that I felt going in. I understand some of the premise behind it and how some of the gurus will kind of spin it to
as a positive win for
yeah, investing
getting
investing in
promoted.
yourself and all that stuff, and fine,
Sure.
whatever. But when it came to the really big programs, I was really turned off by, it's only good until the conference is over.
Or buy it now because you'll save $450 or whatever it is. But then, yeah, early bird prices, those sorts of things.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's funny how far I've diverged from those. Maybe I'm not as successful as I could have if I took those tactics, but I don't think I'd feel good myself in running with them.
And so coming back to your story
Mhm.
around the event, is there the other thought I had about this where yes, FOMO's still obviously kicking in, but I wonder if I hear all the logic that is all in place, but I wonder if there is also maybe some timing of when the decision needs to be made that may just be being delayed. So it mightn't be that you'll miss out completely. It's just about the timing of when you have to make that decision.
Part of that rush to decide is because when the tickets come out to get good seats, you're going to have to jump on them early. So that would be, let's say they come out this week, which would make sense within the next few weeks because this is like the peak
Like
viewership
you said, it's
of
where it starts, like everybody getting
exactly. So people
enthusiastic.
getting excited about it, and tickets will probably, I would assume, go pretty quickly. So that's the impetus is around that, and people at the gym or may buy a block of tickets or something like that. So I don't want to make have anybody put themselves out um, because I didn't like raise my hand to say no, I'm out, that kind of thing. Um, it's funny that you brought up the whole second dress scenario. Like maybe I could get a second dress. There's a second dress in CrossFit. So there's like a competing group, another like competition group that has started this year, and they're going to run their first event. I think it's in May, and it's maybe 12, 14 hour drive from here.
Which is doable, but not as good as a 6 or 8 hour drive.
Yeah, it's not 5, 6. Yeah, it's like 12, 14 or something like that. But I kind of like what they're doing. They've got almost all of the big names, the people that I would want to see. Like and it doesn't have the baggage that the other one has right now. So it's got me thinking about the second dress.
Yeah, is there a better alignment, right? It's like,
Right.
yes, I love the dress for all the reasons. I love all the things. It was something that was sort of stopping me going, this is the dress to wear her to her wedding.
Yeah.
And it's still, even though I've now purchased it, I'm still not convinced it's the dress I'm wearing to her wedding.
Yeah.
So, yes, it could be an alignment to allow your emotions to really be much more connected to
Mhm.
the event
Yeah.
for all of those reasons around how they run it, what their intentions are, how they, what their values are,
Mhm.
that makes it a better alignment. When do those tickets go on sale?
They're already on sale.
Ah, okay.
The event's a lot
Interesting.
closer. It's like in
You
whatever
said May.
in
Yeah.
May, I believe. I haven't looked at it that closely for that. It was just it was kind of like my bridesmaid, never the bride thing. Anyways, it was just kind of that. Um, yeah,
And,
so
and and that's another version of FOMO, isn't it? The bride and not the bride, the bridesmaid, not the bride idea, right? It's like the perception of which event is better.
mm,
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to go back to my dress story. Um, Quite honestly, I don't think in 30 years' time, my daughter is going to be going, oh,
she
mum
chose the
shouldn't have
second
worn
dress.
that dress, whichever dress I choose. Like she's not going to. She's going to remember the feels and the oh, remember when that silly incident happened or we that thing went wrong and it's all the emotional feels. It's not, oh, that person shouldn't have been wearing that outfit.
Mhm.
And yet we put so much energy and effort into now about making that decision. And yet 20 years time, she's not going to be, that's not going to be her thing.
Yeah,
So why do we, um, yeah. So being aligned, and so what would be more important for me in the dress scenario is that I feel 100% comfortable for all of the reasons that I may not even be able to verbalize to show up for her. Because if I'm 100% comfortable, then I'm going to show up for her,
yeah,
which is what is my job for that day.
for sure.
I'm not going to be going, oh, I really don't know if this dress sits properly. Oh, what about this or whatever. I don't want to have any of that going on in the background. I want to just show up for her because then she can have all the feels.
Mhm.
And I wonder if same sort of thing is going on for you. If you go to this event for in August and you've got the question marks around what's behind the intention of how they run things and decisions made and all of that, are you going to be able to show up and support in the way that you would
Yeah.
at the other event?
Yeah, I don't yeah, I think there's always going to be at least where I'm at right now, it doesn't feel like it's the right thing to do. And like I said early on, because I'm having the conversation about it, it probably isn't. But I still wanted to share that kind of like inner battle
It's
between
the process. Yes, it's sharing the
yeah.
process of how we navigate through that and which bits do we pay attention to? And when we identify FOMO, do we let it take full control or do we allow like what how do we navigate that?
Mhm.
And me, I like to hedge my bets both ways. So,
That's why I have two hotel rooms.
right, let's get the dress. And there's still an option for another dress.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. FOMO is sneaky. Sneaky if you're not aware of it.
I think that's why I wanted to raise it. It was because I think a lot of people get stuck in that lack mentality, and they'll take what they can get in many different areas of their life. Could be like whatever, clothing, could be food, could be partners in their life, could be friends, could be work.
Social, oh, I need to go out on a Friday night because otherwise I'll miss out on that interaction with, I don't know, whoever.
Mhm. What if I'm not
Yep.
there? What am I going to miss out on?
Yeah, what if I don't catch the Uber with everybody else and I go there on my own? Like, yeah, what do I miss out on by doing that? But yeah, it's all of that.
$10. The ride share. Yeah, it's nuts. However, I still
Yes.
thought it was something that was definitely relevant for me right now. So when you asked, is there anything pressing this week? I'm like, yes, I have this thing that I need to figure out before it's too late.
And conveniently, I also had been playing with FOMO this week. So that's very convenient
It's just how it works out.
every time.
So good luck, everybody, with your own FOMOs.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, sometimes I listen to it and sometimes I don't.
No, but just having the conversation is just clarity in itself, just to kind of pick it apart, what's going on, what are you feeling, what you're not feeling, why would you be feeling that? It's good to get it out, let it mess around in the conversation, and then I can decide what I want to do with it.
Find a way through it. Yes,
Ideally with a
finding a way
little
through
less I need to make the decision now kind of thing.
because it's vital and this is the only decision I get to make. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks for
So
bringing this one, Ian.
you're welcome. Thank you for doing this.
Always.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Have a
Enjoy your
great
day.
have a great week or one night or whatever, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.